There are three teams in NBA history who you've probably never heard of. And that's what we're talking about today. Okay, what is going on, guys? It's RTG here. If you're new, please consider subscribing. It helps out a lot. Also, like this video and we get 8 likes, I will do an IRL 1v1 basketball versus my brother. Speaking of my brother, he has a channel as well. He makes awesome MLB content. Make sure to check him out. It'll be the only link in the description. So click it, hit that subscribe button, guys. He's trying to grow. He's making videos every day of the week. So make sure to check him out. Alright, let's just get right into this video. Number 1, the Oklahoma City Hornets. By the way, these are not Oklahoma City Hornets highlights. They are New Orleans Hornets highlights. But I'm sorry, I just couldn't find any clips of the Oklahoma City Hornets. I will show you guys the picture in the thumbnail. That's what it is. And I'll throw maybe a picture in between here. But anyways, why did they even exist? Chris Paul was on the Oklahoma City Hornets. And you're probably wondering, unless you're like a Hornets fan, you're probably wondering, what? There was such thing, but there really was, okay? After, tragically, Hurricane Katrina hit and, a lot of homes were knocked out, and it was one of the worst hurricanes ever. The arena was down, not functioning, people were not there. So they moved the team to Oklahoma City for a few years. And the year they moved it, Chris Paul had just been drafted, so another fact there. But, Chris Paul plays his first couple years with the Hornets. They were there for 2 years, but he plays his first couple years with the Oklahoma City Hornets, which is pretty weird. They weren't that great. They weren't that bad. They never really made it anywhere, and they always had New Orleans / Oklahoma City Hornets. Another backstory to this, though. But actually, a couple notes before we get into that backstory. The crowds in Oklahoma City used to sell out. And this is everything to do with the backstory. But here's what the jerseys looked like when they did play in Oklahoma City. That's a Chris Paul jersey. Those are pretty cool in my opinion. But anyways, back to the story. So around this time, we know that the Sonics did not have enough money to build a new arena. And the guy who had just bought the Sonics recently saw the amount of crowds going to in Oklahoma City, going to professional basketball games for the New Orleans Hornets or Oklahoma City Hornets. And he saw this. He's like, if we're going to move anywhere, we got to move to Oklahoma City. And we're here now. And they did move to Oklahoma City. So that's kind of the backstory of Oklahoma City becoming the destination of the Seattle Supersonics. That's pretty cool. Alright, now for the next one. The San Diego Clippers. San Diego doesn't even have, only has one professional sport team now. And it's the Padres, and they are terrible. The Chargers just got moved out, and they're now in LA. So LA just adds another team to their plethora of professional sports teams. But at a time, San Diego did house the Clippers, the terrible Clippers. And there's a little bit of a story to this and everything, but the best player to probably ever play for them was Bill Walton, an MVP, although most known for playing on my Blazers and my Bruins, of course. Was not quite out of his prime and not quite injury-riddled, but not completely there, if you know what I mean. The San Diego Clippers only survived 7 total seasons in the NBA, which spanned from 1978 to 1984. And also never having a single playoff appearance in that amount of time. And the San Diego Clippers ended up becoming the Los Angeles Clippers, and they are the Los Angeles Clippers now. But before the San Diego Clippers, it was actually the Buffalo Braves, who then turned into San Diego, then turned into Los Angeles. So technically, Bob McAdoo did play for the San Diego Clippers, but really not that franchise, per se. Actually, to be honest, I misspoke. Bill Walton was probably not the most famous on the San Diego Clippers. It was World B. Free, who was second in scoring that year, and actually led to the Clippers to a winning season, 43-39, and were 2 wins shy of a playoff spot, averaging 29 points a game. And then later they acquired Bill Walton, but who missed 68 games in that 1980 season. Again, I misspoke, but he came back, and Donald Sterling bought the team until 1984, when they were only averaging 4,500 fans a game, and then moved to Los Angeles, and that's where we know them now. So that's kind of the history of the San Diego Clippers. The third and final one is the Kansas City and Omaha Kings. Now, although playing for 13 seasons, you've probably never heard of this team. They played in Omaha, Nebraska. Nebraska basketball? I can't even think of that right now. I could see Kansas City, and you'll see them in one of my videos coming up. But Omaha, that's a little bit of a stretch. And listen, you should remember this team. They were good. They weren't even bad. Their best player, probably Nate Archibald, who led the league in scoring and assists in the 72-73 season. The Kansas City Kings even had success during the time of the San Diego Clippers. So 2 teams at the same time that you probably never even heard of. And their best years, again, came around in 78 through 74, which were the exact dates of the San Diego Clippers. 78, they did not make the playoffs. And again, they did not make the playoffs in 79. But the 80s, they really turned it around and finally made it to the playoffs, although losing in the first round to the Phoenix Suns 2-1 in the series. In the 1981 playoffs, we saw improvement where they beat the Trailblazers 2-1 in the first round, and again made it to the Western Conference Finals in 1981. They ended up losing to the Houston Rockets, though, but had a run to the Western Conference Finals. Probably the only team in the Western Conference Finals you've never heard of. I mean, honestly, you've probably heard of this team. I mean, Nate Archibald played for him, and he's an all-time great. Archibald played with the Celtics, you don't remember him there. But the next season, things started to decline, and they made it to the playoffs, but did not even make it to the playoffs. My bad, guys. Not even make the playoffs in 1982, most likely due to injuries. I'm just speculating at this point. Again, didn't make the playoffs in 83, and in 84, they made it to the playoffs but lost in the first round 3-0. So to be honest, it was more just 81 and 82 or 3 years. But that's a team that you've probably never even heard of, but they existed, man. Alright, that's going to be it for me, guys. I'm going to wrap this up. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And if you're new, consider subscribing. Helps a lot, guys. And see you tomorrow. Yeah.